Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're taking a mountain of raw data, expert research, and industry case studies, and we're boiling it all down into a super actionable framework just for you and your team. Look, if your dashboard is completely overflowing with numbers that, let's be honest, don't actually mean anything, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're talking outcome over output, and we're going to master your metrics together.
I want you to be brutally honest with yourself for a second. Is your team actually producing results, or are they kind of just faking productivity to hit some bad numbers? So often we're still using this old factory-style management, literally counting hours and tracking meeting attendance, but applying it to modern knowledge workers. And it just creates this massive illusion of busyness. Your statuses are all green, but somehow deadlines keep slipping and burnout spreads like wildfire. It's crazy.
To really understand why this happens, we have to look at a brilliant concept from Axify. It's called Goodhart's Law. Basically, it states, when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. This is a huge trap so many well-meaning managers fall into. Let's say you want to measure your software engineering team's productivity using story points. Management demands more output, so they make those story points the ultimate target. Well, what happens? Developers just start assigning higher values to their estimates. Suddenly, productivity looks incredible on paper, but zero real progress has been made. When you focus purely on hitting a specific number instead of actually improving the process, you're practically inviting manipulated data. You completely lose sight of the true goal.
And the financial costs of this misalignment? It's staggering. Insightful highlights a Gallup study showing that teams with high employee engagement, and that means teams measured on real outcomes, not just micromanaged surveillance, are literally 23% more profitable. Plus, they're 17% more productive. Tracking the wrong data doesn't just burn out your staff, it actively drains your profitability. It's a lose-lose.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Vanity versus Actionable, the tale of two metrics.
So vanity metrics are basically volume-based. They look fantastic in a presentation, but they tell you absolutely nothing about actual performance. Think of things like lines of code or hours logged. These really just reward presenteeism, and worse, they build up technical debt. We absolutely have to replace these with actionable KPIs that track real impact. We're talking measuring utilization rates to see if a team is overloaded, or tracking focus time versus fragmented meetings. Using proven frameworks like Dora or Space lets you beautifully balance deployment speed with system stability and, critically, developer well-being.
Let's ground this with a great example from Workboard. Imagine you're facing a massive spike in customer support tickets. A standard old-school KPI might demand, say, 200 tickets per hour. So the team rushes, they hit the metric, but your customers, they are still incredibly angry because their problems weren't actually solved. That metric only measured activity. But if you shift to an OKR, an objective and key results, the objective becomes resolve the crisis. The key results then become reducing response time by 10% and improving customer satisfaction by 5%. See the difference? The KPI just tells you the output. The OKR actually forces the team to change the outcome.
Moving right along to Section 2, the North Star, mapping daily metrics to top-level outcomes.
Now, if a high-level KPI suddenly turns red, like, say, a declining monthly recurring revenue, you can use OKRs to jump in and fix it. The objective is crystal clear: reverse the MRR decline. The levers you pull to do this are specific, outcome-based key results. Think, increase MRR by $600,000, close 100 new deals, and lift the average deal size to $100,000. This approach forces absolute clarity on exactly which daily actions are going to meaningfully change that failing top-level KPI. Summarizing this core distinction from the super business manager source, an output is just a volume-based measurement. Listen, a developer could write thousands of lines of code, or a sales team could make hundreds of calls in a day. But if they completely fail to solve a user problem or generate any real revenue, that output does not correlate with business success. Period. We absolutely have to shift to outcome-based management. And honestly, this requires a deep cultural transformation. We're talking about moving away from monitoring busy work and moving toward empowering actual results. Which brings us to Section 3, leading versus lagging, predicting the future versus reading the past. Now, what's really interesting about this slide from BMC is how it visualizes this. Lagging indicators assess your current state and your past results. They essentially just tell you what has already happened, looking backwards. Conversely, leading indicators predict future conditions and help you anticipate trends before they hit, looking forwards. To really stay on track and meet your big goals, you absolutely need both. You need a way to see where you've been and a reliable way to look at where you're going. Because here's the thing.
If you rely solely on lagging indicators like profit and expenses, you'll know exactly what happened, but you won't know why. They are set in stone. You must be tracking leading indicators too, things like 2-year agreements, software renewals, or even just add-on trends. Think about it. If you miss a sudden drop in leading software add-ons, a nimble competitor might eat your entire market share before it ever even shows up as a drop in your lagging revenue metric. Leading indicators define the actions you have to take today.
Next up is Section 4, the Rule of 5, cleaning up your dashboard. If your dashboard is overflowing, here is your step-by-step checklist to filter out the useless data. Step 1. Audit your strategy to make sure your metrics actually flow from your business goals. Step 2. Drop the vanity metrics immediately. Say goodbye to time logged and meeting counts. Step 3. Select one single North Star metric to perfectly align the whole company. Step 4. Balance out those predictive leading indicators with your historical lagging ones. And finally, Step 5. Cap your dashboard at exactly 5 KPIs. Look, focus is a leadership choice. By having a small, restricted set of data, you make your priorities undeniably clear to everyone.
And finally, Section 5, empowering your team through meaningful data.
At the end of the day, when you ditch that toxic surveillance culture and stop tracking your team's screenshots, you actually build high performance. As Insightful perfectly puts it, when you measure utilization instead of just total hours, you create teams that are leaner, healthier, and more profitable. Tracking the right signals like actual active focus time builds deep trust, and it spots bottlenecks and burnout way before they ever happen.
So, what does this all mean for us? The crucial takeaway is that your metrics should serve your strategy, not the other way around. They should illuminate the path forward, not just validate the past or create some sort of illusion of hard work. I really want to leave you with this challenge, right here. Which useless vanity metric are you going to delete from your dashboard today? Seriously, apply what we've covered, cut through the noise, and start managing for real outcomes. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go out there and master your metrics.